So we are already broadcasted. Okay, thank you very much. So good afternoon, dear Commission members, dear listeners of our second official meeting of the Selection Commission for Disciplinary Inspector Service. I'm the chair of the commission, Reda Moliene, and I will be chairing this meeting. As it is stated in the law on the High Council of Justice, we have announced our agenda and our meeting in advance. It was done last week on the official site of the High Council of Justice, and we are broadcasted live today. So first of all, dear colleagues, I would like to check the quorum of the meeting. And so I'm Reda Moliene present, Julia Boko present, I see.
Present.
Olga Popikova present, or
present.
Present. Ehrlich
present.
And Pavel Zelinchik.
Present. Good afternoon.
Very good. So we have all 6 members of the commission, and we can start our official meeting. And therefore, we are coming to the agenda, and I suggest now approving our agenda, which has main 2 items today. First is the adoption of the procedure of the conduct of the competition. Secondly, it's the adoption of the amendments of the rules of procedure of the Selection Commission and some other items. So, dear colleagues, do you have any suggestions, comments with regard to the agenda? If not, we can. Okay, so we can vote for the approval of the agenda. I'm in favor of the agenda. Julia Bokova.
In favor.
Thank you. Olga Popikova.
Yes, I am supported.
Olena.
Yes, in favor.
John Ehrlich.
Tak. Yes.
Thank you. Дякую. Pavel Zelinchik.
Yes, in favor.
Thank you very much. So the agenda is approved, and I would like to start with the first item of our today's meeting, which is the adoption of our draft regulation on the conduct of the competition. I must say that the draft regulation was published with the announcement and the agenda of our meeting in advance, so interested parties could get acquainted with the draft regulation. And actually, we received some comments which were mostly related to some were of editorial character. And of course, we appreciate a lot those comments that were submitted, and we were taking into account those comments on some wording and some editing of the document. So first of all, we discussed a lot in our technical meetings among members of the commission, and we had very intensive work, many meetings, many discussions, many exchange of emails and many ideas. And also we consulted with some external experts on some very specific aspects of methodology and the procedure of possible methods to be applied. But the most important thing that we all agreed that, well, this is a very important service, and taking into account this importance of the service and the huge challenging tasks ahead of those people who will be dealing with cases of potential misconduct of judges, or possible non-compliance with the ethics of judges of all instances, and also other complex issues, we can realize what kind of pressure those people can face. So our aim as a commission, and we discussed a lot about this, that in this competition, we want and we have to select the best candidates in respect of their professionalism, their integrity, ethics, and capable of performing this very important mission and being resistant to any kind of pressure. So our approach to this competition, and when we were drafting and discussing this regulation, is that we are not focusing on determining any weaknesses or incompetence of those who are not selected, but we are focusing on identifying the best suitable professionals for this mission. And also, of course, we were taking into account, and we are aiming at proceeding with objectivity and transparency as the commission. So based on the task to objectively evaluate relevant competences, and also taking into account the task to select from the high number of candidates, we accordingly developed, I think, a design of a competition with very specific methods, but also allow to select the candidates best people for the position. And I would like probably to describe very shortly the framework design of the competition, so that we could further maybe comment, discuss, or agree on what we already discussed. So the initial stage is stated in the law. It's the admission of applicants based on formal eligibility requirements established by the law, and then the announcement of the list of candidates participating in the competition. So after this, the first competition stage is the cognitive test with some verbal, logical, mathematical aspects to be assessed, and assessing in principle the general intelligence of candidates. And we found it as the objective tool based on which we select the particular number of candidates ranked among the highest scores to be selected for further competition. So this number of candidates is 15 and 15 for the head and deputy head of the service, and for 5 to every in each vacant position of the inspector. So the next stage for all candidates will be the case study exercise, which allows, we were aiming at the method which would allow to evaluate those competences that are crucial for these positions, both inspectors and the head and deputy head of the service. So analytical skills, a way of legal thinking and reasoning, and some other competences that are crucial. And we found it as a more comprehensive tool compared to legal knowledge testing. So here, external experts will be involved to develop and then to assess those exercises. And after this, we will have a list of candidates to be in competition further. So this list will be 5 candidates to each of the position of the head and deputy head, and 2 to each vacant position of the inspectors. What is also important that alongside with case study exercise, we will start the integrity check just after the cognitive test, and we came to this conclusion to make this integrity and ethics check in these stages, not to wait for a pre-final stage to do so, in order to allow authorities and civil society organizations to have enough time to collect information, to analyze the information, and also for us to properly communicate with people and to establish all the facts that have to be established, to answer all the questions, and to have enough time, but also to make the process more effective and not to wait till the very end. And after in this stage, we will also have evaluation of personal competences of candidates applying to the position of the head and deputy head of the service. What is important that this stage will allow us to have more additional information for the pre-final stage for the interview. And this will be done in a way of testing and interview with psychologists. So no shortlisting or any ranking, but more of additional information of those who are going for leadership position. And after all those stages, we will have an interview as a pre-final stage, after which we will announce the list of the winners of the competition, and we will provide this list to the High Council of Justice. So this is mainly in short our logic, as we have agreed, I believe, but maybe there are some additional comments or some suggestions on this draft regulation and draft design of the competition. Dear members of the commission. Yes, Olga, please.
Thank you, Ms. Reda. I would like to very briefly point out that members of the commission have spent lots of time while working on the procedure, because we have had lots to discuss. And while discussing different stages, we had some different ideas and visions, but at the same time, members of the selection commission have reached a joint vision of the purpose of the competition with respect to having the competition conducted in a transparent and open way. In this respect, we have been unanimous. At the same time, I should point out that this is the first experience for us with respect to conduct of such competition for positions of disciplinary inspectors, because previously these competitions were not held. So I would like to say that we are really grateful to such a large number of people who have applied to this competition. I really hope that their hopes for an honest, transparent, and open competition would be fulfilled, and that their expectations would be fulfilled as well. And at the same time, I would like to say that while working on the draft procedure, we really hope that this document that we have developed will be used in the future as well, when future competitions will be announced for positions of disciplinary inspectors. Because as we know, they are appointed for a specific period of time, and then there will be a new competition for new positions. Thank you.
Thank you, Olga, for your additional comments and maybe some other comments. No new ideas, because everything was so intensively discussed and many hours of discussions. So if no other suggestions or comments, I would suggest proceeding with voting on the draft regulation. And I would like to ask Yulia, what is your vote?
I agree with those provisions which we have in the draft procedure. So I am in favor of the procedure.
Thank you. Olga, please.
Yes, I vote in favor.
Olena?
I vote in favor.
Thank you. John?
Tak, ja zhoden. I agree.
Yes, I agree.
Pavel?
Yes, I vote in favor.
And I'm voting in favor as well. So 6 votes in favor, and the procedure of the conduct of the competition is adopted. congratulations to all commission members who worked very hard and very intensively. So thank you very much. And now we have a second item of our agenda is the adoption of the amendments of the rules of procedure of the Selection Commission. Actually, we adopted the rules of procedure in our first official meeting. It was on the 4th of February. But also in the course of our discussions, we discovered that probably it is necessary to specify some provisions with regard to conflict of interests, which is described and provided in the law, but also to have more precisely described in our rules of procedure. And therefore, we discussed that it is maybe better to do so by amending those rules of procedure. And here I would like to ask Olga to shortly present the very idea and the provisions, the draft provisions of the amendments. Thank you, Olga.
Thank you, Rada. I think that it is not necessary to remind everyone about that, but at the same time, in our rules of procedure, we clearly stipulate that any changes may be introduced into the ROP only by the decision of the Selection Commission. This issue concerns that in clause 2.4.3, we have it set out that members of the Selection Commission have to refuse to participate in collection of information about the candidates if such member of the Commission had or has personal or professional relations with the candidate, or if there is another conflict of interest or circumstances which might impact objectivity and impartiality of such member of the Selection Commission. The issue of the presence of a conflict of interest are governed in clauses 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. In particular, we have it stated there that members of the Selection Commission have to recuse themselves in such case. And at the same time, we believe that the explanation of the notion of the conflict of interest, private interests, personal relations, professional relations, which are mentioned in our rules of procedure, have to be separately defined in our ROP, so that we have clear definitions of these notions to avoid different interpretations. Because this issue of selection of candidates is very important. And we understand that we will have situations when members of the Commission will recuse themselves. So we have to clearly define for candidates what is meant under the conflict of interest and grounds for self-recusal. And accordingly, I suggest to complement our rules of procedure with these notions. In particular, I wish to specify that the conflict of interest is the situation when the member of the Selection Commission has private interests during fulfillment of authorities stipulated by the law of Ukraine on the High Council of Justice and rules of procedure which might impact objectivity and impartiality of his/her decision-making or actions or inaction by him/her during fulfillment of the said authorities. Private interests mean any property-related or intangible interests of the member of the Selection Commission, including the ones caused by personal or professional relations with the candidate. Personal relations mean connections with family members and close persons or friendly or other non-professional connections. Notions family members and close persons are used in the meaning of the law of Ukraine on corruption prevention. And professional relations mean a connection between persons with direct subordination or joint work in a structural unit of an enterprise, institution, organization, or multiple instances of personal interaction during fulfillment of official duties or mutual rights and obligations which arise in the context of entrepreneurial activities. So I've just read out those definitions, which we suggest to include into general provisions of our ROP. Thank you.
Thank you, Olga. Any additional comments from other members, colleagues? No comments. We set up a higher standard for this, and we agree on this. Okay, so let's proceed with the voting then. So we are now voting for the amendments of the rules of procedure with regard to the conflicts of interest and describing these personal and professional relations. Julia?
I agree. I agree with those changes or amendments to the rules of procedure regarding the conflict of interest. I think that it's appropriate.
Thank you. Olga?
Yes, yes, I agree.
Thank you. Olena?
I vote in favor.
Thank you. John?
Tak, já zhoden.
Yes, I agree.
Pavel?
Yes, I agree.
Thank you. I'm voting in favor of those amendments. So we have 6 votes for, and the amendments of the rules of procedure has been adopted. So our 2 main items of our agenda are finalized. Now we can proceed with some other issues or items, and I would like to suggest discussing and announcing the tentative timeline of the competition, because I think it is an important thing, and everybody would be guessing and discussing and thinking about. So a procedure is quite complex, and how much time it will take. So as we have received a huge number of the applications, which we perceive as a good sign, well, giving us a chance to get the best professionals for the position, but also it is quite a difficult process in managing all those applications, and then a huge amount of documentation. On the other side, we discussed and we have decided that we are not sacrificing the objectiveness and the openness and the thoroughness of our competition, so that would allow us to select the best people. For the sake of the pure speediness, we have to balance those things. So we calculated, and I think this timeline or schedule that we have, this tentative schedule, that potentially or hopefully we are finalizing our competition in the first half of September. So this is, as I called, and colleagues agree that this is kind of optimistic, realistic scenario, but we will do everything to make it happen. And in this respect, I think that our very intensive cooperation with external service providers, authorities, civil society organizations will allow us to proceed very effectively and to have this schedule performed in time. So this can be announced as our tentative deadline for the finalization of the competition, and announcing all the winners of the competition is this September of this year. So any comments from commission members? Any additional ideas or new suggestions? No, because we discussed it, yes, and this tentative schedule is very ambitious, but manageable. We hope so. Good. Then, if there are any other items before we move to the agreement on the next official meeting and next steps? No other items? So maybe we could also plan our next official meeting, which would be related with the announcement of the candidates that are accepted to the competition. So this decision we plan that can be done in a course of 2 weeks approximately. So in this period, we will have our next official meeting. Before that, we will finalize the analysis of all the documents on the admissibility of applicants to the competition. So we hope that we will be ready to make our decision on the candidates to be accepted for the competition in a course of, so it will be in mid of April approximately. Of course, we will make an announcement in advance as usual, but this can be planned as I said. So agreed. Good. So much of work to be done ahead, but we will do this. So thank you very much. And do we have any other items, any other issues to discuss or to announce? No. Don't see any raised hands, so therefore I can. Oh yes.
There is.
Please, yes.
Reda, there is a suggestion regarding some technical issues that we should discuss between us, working members, but I think that we could do it beyond our official meeting or after. Regarding the official meeting, there are no other issues, but regarding some technical issues, I have some technical issues to discuss with other members of the Commission, if it's possible.
Okay, we can discuss technicalities afterwards. So if there are no items to discuss and to announce which are important for all of those who are observing this competition, so I would like then to announce our meeting over, and we will see each other, and we will be online again in a couple of weeks, I suppose. So thank you very much, and thanks all those who are watching us, and we are looking forward to our next meeting. Thank you.
Daku. Dobry den.
Thank you. Yeah, goodbye. See you next time. Goodbye.
Good work.